being early is where all the money is made in crypto. You don't get rich by investing in Bitcoin when it's at 60K. You get rich by investing in Bitcoin when it's at 6K, right? And that's what we're looking at right now. We're looking at an early Solana Launchpad that basically just came live and has a lot of potential for us. So we're going to review Solanaprime. If this project is interesting for you guys, if you should get into this launchpad while it's still early, or if it's best to stay away from it. So a complete review with a little bit of a price prediction to see, what is the future having in store for this launchpad. So everything you need to know about Solanaprime coming right up. Stay tuned. All right, everybody, thank you so much for joining me again today. Really do appreciate that. We're pushing the 1,000 subscribers. If you guys can help me out with that, really do appreciate that. Also, I'm not a financial advisor. Do your own due diligence, perform your own research. It's really important. All right, let's get into this. So Solanaprime is one of the newest Solana launchpads out there right now. It launched in the bear market, so it has a rough start, but they really did, anticipate that right off the get-go. So Solanaprime, the gateway to the Solana ecosystem. So we're first going to go over the website and the tiered system. Then we're going to move over to the actual launchpad, the app, and then we're going to do the white paper and everything like that. So we're going to go over everything. Use the timestamps below if you have a certain preference to what you would like to see first. All right, starting with the website, join the community-led launchpad, accelerator, and VC DAO to supercharge Solana. So they'll have DAO, meaning you as a token holder will be able to vote and have a voting right in the project. You'll get to steer it in the direction you want. There's a voting system parameters, introduced improvement proposals, and other initiatives. Dual token economics. So that means they'll have two tokens. Prime is our main utility token, staked for governments and IDO allocations. SPIX is our index reward token. Every Prime staker can yield exposure to every IDO through SPIX. So there's two tokens. One you'll be able to purchase on the exchanges. It's the main utility token, etc. And then there is another token called SPIX. SPIX will be purely for for the index rewards. Then we have the smarter tiers. The higher you stake in Prime, the higher your allocation odds. However, the smaller your Prime stake and the earlier you stake, the higher pre-stake token SPIX reward. Double quadratic distribution at its best. So let's read this a little bit more in detail because it is quite important actually. So it's not clickable. We can zoom in a little bit. So the higher you stake in Prime, the higher your allocation odds, right? So that's normal tier. And then, however, the smaller your Prime stake and the earlier you stake, the higher pre-stake tokens you will get. So there's rewards in both sides. If you stake a lot, you will get a bigger odds or a bigger allocation. If you stake less, you will get more SPIX rewards. So that's quite interesting. They call it smart tiers. And whether you like the system or not, you gotta admit it's a very creative way of giving both small investors and bigger investors worth for their money. So pretty cool. Moving down here, we can actually look at the smart tiers. So we're going to quickly see what the overall prices are over on this launchpad. So we're going to just get the calculator over here, grab it real quick because you guys know that your boy is not the best in math, right? So let's see here. So the first tier starts at 50 staked Prime, which is actually really cheap as of right now. The token is going for 80 cents, which is super cheap, right? So this 50 times 18 cents. What the hell is that? That's like what, $10 or something? $9, you're right. So $9 for the first tier. That is incredibly cheap, but keep in mind, okay, everybody, this will give you a pool weight of 1 and it will give you 1 ticket. Now for comparisons, you will get 125 tickets with tier 3. You get 400 tickets with Proth. So 1 ticket is basically nothing. So $9, yeah, sure, but the tier is practically worthless. Okay, I don't like saying it. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. I don't want to be a dick about it, but worthless. So do not invest $9. Don't waste your $9. All right, either don't invest or invest more. Now here we have one for 1,000. We'll give you 25 tickets. Still not really a winning chance. Now over here, 125 tickets, sure, that will be something. Proth is already quite interesting and will give you 400 tickets. So you're going to get that allocation nearly guaranteed and you'll have a pretty solid pool weight of 2.2. But it is still a lottery tier. So let's quickly calculate the overall cost of this tier. That will be this times 18 cents. That will be, is that correct? Yeah, that is correct. So that will currently be $2,100 for the still lottery tier. Now, imagine investing $2,100, right, US dollars, only to not get the tier, or the allocation, sorry, excuse me. Imagine doing that, right? So I usually always recommend either don't invest or get yourself the guaranteed allocation. Now, you can invest however you prefer, right? You can get the lottery ticket, but imagine investing all that money, not being able to participate in the IDO. So what are we gonna have to pay for the most, the cheapest guaranteed allocation tool? Well, the most cheapest allocation is the most expensive tier, because there's only one tier in Solanaprime that has guaranteed allocation, and that is Euler. I'm not sure if I pronounced that correctly, but that is the one and only tier with a guaranteed allocation. Now, do I like this system? Well, then again, I only invest when there is a guaranteed allocation. So to see that you have to pay, well, probably more than 3K for a guaranteed allocation, that's a lot for me, right? That's a lot. Depending on what kind of investor you are, for me, that is a lot of money. And I think for a lot of you, that's also quite a lot. Look at this, all right? You'll be paying nearly 6.5K for this guaranteed allocation. Now, I think that's a lot. I think that's too much, really. But then again, right, we're going to look at the projects in a bit to see if this price is actually worth it. But clearly their thought process is people will just get the lottery tickets because that'll do just fine. You'll get so many lottery tickets, you'll probably win anyways, which is likely the case. But still paying this much for guaranteed allocation, I don't know. But those are the tiers, right? You'll get a pool weight of 3, pretty good stuff over there. Here we have the roadmap. Now they divided it up in phase 1, 2, phase 3, and phase 4. They also have a roadmap on the white paper, so we'll look at both, see if there's any differences. Over here we see phase 1, finalize MVP Solanaprime Launchpad landing page with the following pool functionalities: prime token staking, fixed price pools, access dimensions, like the tier structure, and random draw mechanics. Phase number 2 will be product alignment with Solana ecosystem as a whole, private and public IDOs, project incubation through Nerve HQ accelerator, SPIX token distribution in a form of staking rewards. So we don't know when phase 2 is. I assume they're talking about quarter 1, 2, 3, and 4 of 2022, but we don't know for sure because they didn't put it in there. But okay, that's what I'm going to assume right now, okay? Phase 3, which I assume will be quarter 3, which is where we are at right now. SPIX own roadmap. Secondary market assets could be implemented in phase 2. Prime insurance fund. Wait, what do you mean could be implemented in phase 2? I don't see secondary market assets in here. So that's weird. Okay. Prime insurance fund, liquidity allocation, delegation, smart tiers, and prime token buyback and SPIX staking. Then in phase 4, the biggest one, development depending on community demand. Liquidity mining protocol, Orca Solanix Radium pool with USDC Prime, USDC SPIX, or any other pair liquidity provision. Claim and burr characteristics of the Prime pool and its underlying tokens. Prime DAO and governance structure, votes and fees, ticket sizes, Prime VC decisions, and lottery mechanics, for example. Okay, so overall a roadmap with a lot of details, but I'm missing like the bigger pictures, if that makes any form of sense, right? I'm not seeing any big milestones. I'm seeing more smaller ones, right? They're not talking about any cross-chain integrations or anything along those lines. They're not really talking about the IDO launches or their token launch for that matter. So yeah, I mean, an okay roadmap, but again, I'm missing some big like milestones, and I don't really feel like they indicate the time periods very well either. So that would be my personal criticism, but at least there is a roadmap, and I do feel like the team has been holding up their end of the deal quite well, that they have followed the roadmap that they've set out for themselves, which is always a good sign. So that's the roadmap we have here. We do have a roadmap later on the line in the video, so we're going to look at that one as well, see if it's any difference. That roadmap is in the white paper. But for now, we're going to continue moving over, looking at the website, see what other information we can gather. All right, moving over here, we see their partners. Now, partners is incredibly important for any project, especially launch pads. It doesn't just show the strength of the project, but also the professionalism. Every partner does their own due diligence. If you have a couple of tier 1 partners, that's always a very good sign. Now, I'm not seeing any tier 1 partners over here, unfortunately. We see the Influx Group, Stratosphere, Contago, Pluto, Digital Assets. So yeah, I mean, we do have some partners over here, but nothing insane, right? We're seeing Shisha Finance. I've never heard of them before, but this is your premium diversified cryptocurrency portfolio for maximized rewards. Okay, right. So yeah, but I've never heard of it before. It's not anything crazy, but again, they do have their fair share of partners. Just keep in mind that we don't have these big tier 1 launchpads launching them or incubating them, or for that matter, just partnering with them. So very interesting to keep in mind. Why not? Solana launchpads are very in demand. Is there a particular reason why they're not working together with some big parties? Is there a reason why they're steering away from Solanaprime? Those are things you have to really think about. Now, again, it's just one red flag, right? Not having that many partners. But then again, it's a bear market. They just started out. So let's cut them some slack overall. Good to keep in mind though. So the partner is not looking too strong. And that's also the end of the website. Here we have their social media links, and that's just about it. So overall, pretty comprehensive. I got all of the information I really needed. So let's move over and look at the token. I'm really excited about the token. We can speculate about the price a little bit, but the TGE was very recently. So there's a lot of information we can dissect. So let's get into that. And after that, we'll move over to the dashboard and the projects. So right now, Solanaprime at 18 cents. It's up quite a lot actually compared for the last 24 hours. And over here you can see the TGE. So TGE did pretty well, right? It had a big spike here. Man, if you sold there, you would have had some pretty good returns. Overall though, I mean, the price tanked. That's just the pattern we see here. In those bear markets, the price just go up. You have a decent ROI at the all-time high, but after that, it just drops down. So that is not entirely uncommon. And again, it makes sense, right? Right now, there's no launches whatsoever on Solanaprime. So people had no utility for their token. And so when the price spiked, everybody just sold their tokens. That's just what they did. So that is why the price went down. After that, however, it stabilized. Now, that is what's important, right? Look at this. It stabilized since the 6th or 7th of 2022. Right now it's the 9th, it's the 1st of September. The price hasn't really changed. It's still here at this 18 cents mark. So a remarkable stabilization at a very respectable 18 cents price. So after the paper hands sold their tokens right after the TGE, price stabilized, very, very well done. Looking pretty bullish to me. The sentiment on CoinMarketCap seems to be pretty good as well. Here we have a comment saying, what is the first exchange to list in Solanaprime? It does seem to have a comment. Someone saying it's a scam token. Someone saying they are unable to list token in CoinGecko and you are waiting for an exchange. Go and research for Decatral token. They're unable to get expected amounts they want. Once they reach their target, you won't see any trace of them anymore. Okay, so that is some bearish sentiment over there. For the rest, though, we do have some bullish listings over here. So again, where is the exchange that they're on? It's a very good question, and we should try and find that out where we can buy the token. So here we do have a big ass button saying buy the Prime token. So we can buy it on Radium, actually. Look at that. So they are live on exchanges. So this very bearish comment, not really accurate, right? Saying, hey, they're not going to be on any exchanges whatsoever. They're a scam token. Well, they are on exchanges. So that's one thing to keep into consideration. They have 97 people on their watch list. And yeah, that's just about it. The market cap is not available. The fully diluted market cap is at 18.2 million. It's a very, very large market cap for such a young company that didn't have such an impressive raise. So I wonder where the money came from. Very interesting. But I guess we'll find more about that over on the white paper. For now, though, let's take a quick look at the basically the wallets, right? Who is holding this token and who is this massive market cap divided amongst mostly, right? So we're seeing 212 holders, and from those holders, you can see here, those big ones are probably wallets. So yeah, we have a couple of holders who hold several thousands, right? Several thousands. So those are big holders of Solanaprime. Over here we have a couple of hundreds. So yeah, from the small amount of holders, a lot of them, I would easily say around 30 or so, are big holders, and all of the rest have about 100 or less. So that does show that there's a couple of people here that got the bigger tiers with the lots of lottery tickets, maybe 1 or 2 with the guaranteed allocation. For the rest, people went for the lower tiers overall and didn't invest that much money into this project. So again, important to keep in mind, right? Smaller project, not that many people actually went out and invested. There's not that many holders of the token. So when they're going to launch a pool, right, and there's not going to be that many participants because there's not that many holders, you're going to have some potential liquidity issues. Because if you're with that many people in such a big allocation, right, they have to fill the pool, so they're going to go with bigger allocations. And what happens if you have a bigger allocation? Well, that means that if one of the investors drops their tokens, it will have a much bigger impact on the price. So investing in launchpads that have larger allocations and less investors will actually give you more risk for your investment. So only 212 holders, that is a bit tricky. Now again, right, they're still up and running, they're still just starting out, so that is something to keep in mind. But again, very tricky for your investment when you do participate in one of those IDOs. Now, there are also positive sides to this launchpad being as new as it is. Not just the price being quite low, but also beginner rewards. Look at this. They will have a welcome to Solanaprime reward that will double your staking rewards by 2. So 2x. Over there, staking APY will be at 548%. Now, I do have to say something about staking, right? First and foremost, it's not really a utility. And secondly, if all of these people start staking, that will actually have a negative influence on the price as well, especially such a small launch pad. So really be careful with just giving these large bonuses, right? Because you have to understand that the tokens have to come from somewhere, right? The company is giving you these tokens, so they're bringing more into this circulating supply by giving you those rewards, which actually lowering the price in the process. So you might get extra rewards, but in order for them to give you those rewards, the price has to come down. That's one thing, right? On the other hand, the price hasn't come down. Right, we have seen people stake because clearly they're staking because there's this thing going on, the price sale, but the price hasn't been going down. Right, it's been rather stable. So a good thing and a bad thing. What we do have to note down is that sometimes there's literally just a $0 value. So making the price very spiky, and yeah, it's just barely being traded around. It's such a small token, and that just brings a lot of risks with it. But on the other hand, it could also bring a lot of very great opportunities with it because the price is so spiky. High risk, high reward. That's what you get with smaller and newer launchpads. So be aware of that, okay? It's not like a DAO maker. It is Solanaprime, completely different space. Now, let's take a look at the current projects that they got going on and the one prior project that they did before. So this is basically the quality inspection of this launchpad. Let's take an in-depth look onto their projects right now. All right, so we see Gecko, SolType, Fulbo Galaxy, and Aerospheres. So let's take a look at some of these projects, shall we? So this is Fulbo Galaxy. It looks like it is a IGO. It looks pretty cheap to me, to be honest with you. Okay, so it is a soccer game that looks pretty cool, actually. Pretty cheap, but pretty cool nonetheless. I think it is a mobile game. Yeah, it's a mobile game. Pretty cool looking, actually. So this is the game. Earn money while you play like real footballers. Hop on the NFT craze, right? So you'll have NFT player cards. You'll be able to play, get your own character. Pretty sure this is a mobile game. Here they have their team, fully docs and all that. Roadmap, overall pretty good website. Their partners, Solana. Yes, that's a blockchain that they're going on. Solanaprime, that's the launchpad. So not a lot of partners over there. Pretty tier 3 looking. So yeah, I mean, tier 3 project that is for sure. Doesn't look too bad, but a tier 3 project nonetheless. Looking again at their roadmap, sorry. Let's take a let's see, quarter 2, expand the full-time team, public gameplay demo, demo ranking support, demo tournaments, and Gleam campaigns. Okay, a functional website. Over here in quarter 3, founding NFT player spec sale. Let's see. Okay. Web3 upgrades, streaming support for influencers, DAO governance, new stadiums, PvP launch. Player versus player in football. My lord, what are they gonna do? Attack each other with sticks? Okay. So penalty feature, right? Okay. So yeah, an okay roadmap. Definitely a tier 3 project, but is not looking that bad. So yeah, a so-so project. Again, I cannot fetch a full-blown judgment on this just now. The TGE hasn't happened yet. But yeah, I mean, when you get into Solanaprime, you're getting into tier 3 projects, which can be very profitable, especially during the bull run. But you just have to be aware of what kind of project this is and adapt your investment strategy accordingly. This is a tier 3 project. This is a tier 3 launchpad. They launch tier 3 projects, right? You can get profits. You have to have a different mindset. So don't think that these projects are gonna just magically do well. You have to actually think about when to sell, when to buy, etc. in order to make profits. Now that is one of the projects. Everything is still to be announced. Just like with all of the projects, by the way, they have no time, no initial market cap, nothing yet. So to say that they're in the pipeline is maybe giving them too much credit, because we don't know when they're gonna launch. We don't have any information yet. They do have over here Soul Type. It's looking a bit more professional, so they will do both IDOs and IDOs, which I like. Kind of do a little bit of both. Now this is pretty cool looking project actually. Good website. And then we also have Gecko, which I'm actually quite bullish on myself. I have a full-blown review on this particular IDO on the channel. If you want to look at it, make sure to do so. It's a really it's a really cool project, and I'm quite bullish on this myself. So I'm happy to see it on the Launchpad. I think it's a good idea overall. So yeah, this is Gecko, and yeah, do I think this is going to be a good launch? Do I think this is going to be a good project? Yeah, I think so personally. Now again, I don't have a magic glass ball. I cannot fully guarantee it. But this project does have a very good reputation. People are quite bullish on it. It looks very professional, and it definitely has a shot at giving you quite some good profits. So Gecko, definitely quite bullish on that one. Now here they have another IGO. Sorry, is it an IGO? I have to see. Hardcore 2 MMORPG. Yeah, so this is an IGO. Lands and bosses, spellcasters. Okay. So yeah, this is also very tier 3 looking. Barely can navigate the project. Do have a docs team though. But yeah, apart from Gecko, all of the projects that I've been seeing are tier 3, tier 2 at best. Gecko is definitely one of the exceptions in this, right? But yeah, I mean, overall, if that's what you're into, right, then that's good. But overall, I'm not being blown away by the projects. Let me know if you guys disagree with me. But apart from Gecko, I don't really see any particular gems in there. Now, they've also done one project, which was their own project actually, Solanaprime. All-time highs to be announced, which is interesting, right? It's been a while. It's been quite a while. I think I can pretty much pinpoint the all-time high at this point. It was 44 cents. But okay, to be announced. As for the IDO token price, is at 0.6 USDC. Total raised 109.3k USDC. Participants 210, so quite a lot of participants actually. It ended in May 27, and my allocation was 0 prime. Feels bad. Feels bad, man. Yeah, no, of course I didn't participate. So yeah, that is pretty much their only project that they've done yet. If you click on an ended project, this is the dashboard you're going to get. So you can connect your wallet, see all of the information, and that's about it. I assume you can do the same with the upcoming projects. Yes, that's right. But then everything here says to be announced. So that is it for the projects. Again, very, very new Launchpad, and the projects that are launching are very much tier 3. I'm bullish on Gecko, but that's about it. But sometimes you just have to give the Launchpad a little bit of time. Launching in a bear market is difficult as it is, but if you have just a completely new project, then that can be very, very challenging. So maybe we just have to give them some time to fetch those partners and those opportunities to start launching other things other than tier 3 projects. But for now, I guess humble beginnings can lead to great things eventually. Now, as for the question, is it a scam? Is it a rug pull? To really answer that, we're gonna have to venture off over into their docs, into their their white paper, to really look at the tokenomics and to really see the foundation of this project. So that's what we're gonna do now. It's actually going to be the most important part of this video. So let's take a quick look, or very in-depth look actually. They have a light paper, so not a white paper, I think. I don't know how they called it. I think maybe it's white paper too, I'm not sure. So Solanaprime is the first Solana VC DAO, PAD, and liquidity allocation marketplace. Solana has leapfrogged the competition. I'm gonna have to zoom this in. It's way too tiny for me to read this. I'm a boomer, I know. The massive growth and liquidity inflows of Solana have propelled into the consciousness of the industry, capitalizing on Ethereum's scalability issues. Current launchpads are inefficient. Launchpads in their conventional format are characterized by unscalable tokenomics, idle capital scattered across overcrowded and massively expensive tiers, and information. Okay, your tiers are expensive. I mean, not to trash it too hard, but yeah, these are also expensive tiers. And maybe unless they're comparing themselves with DAOmaker, then relatively these tiers are really cheap. But yeah, compared to most other launchpads out there, these are quite hefty prices overall. But I agree, that's a problem. But probably what they mean is their barrier to entry is low. Like theoretically, you can participate with just $9, but yeah, you'll never get the allocation, right? Because you have one lottery ticket. But hey, it's there. So that's kind of what they mean, right? So they have as a USP that they're affordable, but they're not really, but they are at the same time. So that's what they mean by this. Solanaprime decentralizes. Solanaprime is designed to leverage Solana universal accessibility to serve all investors, large and small. Is DAO governed, enabling tokenization, of the entire pre-money project lifecycle, but it's also so much more than that. So yeah, mostly their biggest USP seems to be their DAO system and their cheap tiers, right? Cheap first tier. So okay, that's fine. Solanaprime innovates and built by Launchpad veterans. We've been active in the Solana and general DeFi since the very inception. We have seen it all and have learned. Now we bring our wealth of expertise to turbo change the early stage of finance Solana. So, okay, they're quite fond of themselves, which I mean, I guess is good. You gotta have that self-confidence, of course. They've been there since the beginning. I hope to see a doxed team so I can kind of verify their expertise and who they are. I'm not sure if they're doxed. I'm pretty sure they're not actually. Solana has momentum. Over 75% of the SOL supply is being staked in the network. Now, this is one thing that I, for the first time, really, really, truly 100% agree with, right? Solana has momentum. Solana has a lot of potential, and both in the NFT space, but also with launchpads and the token in general. And it has a lot of momentum recently, which is why we're covering this launchpad. It's the newest Solana launchpad, and that deserves a thorough review, right? Solana is now hitting over 10 billion in TVL, and there are over 100 of projects deploying on this ecosystem. Solana has 1,000 live transactions per second, an average cost of around 0.00025 per transaction, 400 MS block times. Now, of course, Solana is just way better in gas fees than Ethereum could ever dream to be, making it just so much more interesting, and the scalability is much greater as well. Solana's bridge to Ethereum has over 50k transactions and has served nearly 20,000 unique addresses, is primarily comprised of USDC and USDT transactions. So yeah, 100%. I mean, Solana with this huge potential, really great that they capitalize on it. And Solana launchpads, we don't have that many, right, compared to how big Solana is. So it's good to find a new one in the ecosystem. And this is just a little bit of their market research, really. The next frontier for DeFi, NFTs, and gaming in Solana. Solana has the liquidity, with more than 10 billion in TVL for the entire protocol spread across only a handful of DeFi projects and the cross-chain bridges to support transfers. Solana has the minimal liquidity to set the growth into overdrive. Ethereum is losing its DeFi dominance, that's for sure. Gaming has found its home. Solana has been targeted for the growth of the gaming scene. Yeah, So Solanaprime is not a gaming launchpad though. So yes, they are gaining gaming momentum, but just so you guys know, Solanaprime is not just for gaming launches. They also do IDOs. But yeah, it's true. Solana is basically the new home for gaming projects by and large. Let's see. The Metaverse has been born, and synthesis, stables, and key liquidity solutions are yet to evolve on Solana, right? So again, like I said in the early stage of this video, early mover advantage is a thing on both Solana, but also Solanaprime. And this is really where you can get into this stuff early. And whether you should get into Solanaprime, again, I'll leave that over for the end of this video. But Solana is certainly bullish. And I've said that time and time again, right? So any launchpad on Solana, where I am very bullish on, is a potential opportunity by default. So here's more of what they feel like are the problems in traditional launchpads. Solanaprime is the dApp to supercharge Solana. Solanaprime combines a unique insurance fund to protect investors and ensure maximal capital efficiency. 2. Trading NFT tier allocations supercharge token velocity and make stake prime capital work. 3. Token-sized index pools, which contains a basket of all tokens that have IDO'd on Solanaprime. This allows the community to gain exposure to less risky portfolio token of all projects that have launched on Solanaprime. And 4th, Prime tokenomics is deflationary due to the IDO participation fees. It's not free anymore to make X. Sometimes it's better to skip. Yeah, for sure. So a deflationary mechanism to keep the price stable and high, and it's working. Of course, you cannot just keep a price stable or high because of deflationary mechanics. It's a bonus, so you will need utility to have the price go up or stay the same, but deflationary mechanisms will aid the utility in doing that. So it's good to see it, but you do need to start launching to get that utility going. Solanaprime powers, so the smart tiers, the insurance, the liquidity allocations, the index, the delegation, the charge, the DAO, and the burn boosters are what's going to be their main USPs. Then here we finally have the tokenomics. It was not done in a graph. I'm very crying about that, but it's fine. So we see here the seed round is taking up 7%. The private round is only doing 1%, which is highly unusual. Private rounds are usually the biggest ones, so private rounds at 1%, seed at 7%, it's unusual. IDO at 0.25%, also very low. Strategic partnerships at 6.5%. The team is gaining a above average 18% of the tokens. Advisors and marketing gaining 5%. Token liquidity only 5%, which is below average. Prime ecosystem fund at 21%. Community incentives at 13%. Liquidity mining for 7%. Prime staking 7.5%, and Prime insurance fund at 7.5%. Okay, so I feel like the team is taking quite a lot of tokens here. What is their vesting looking like? So wow, look at this. Oh man. Okay, I'm not sure about this. So the team is taking 18% of the tokens, but they only have a 3-month cliff. 3-month cliff. Where's their cliff? This launch is 6, so 6, 7, 8, 9. So their cliff is about to end. Right. So the team that, by the way, is controlling 18% of all of the tokens is about to start vesting. All right, man. So my personal advice would be wait to see what happens with the price after this team starts vesting their tokens. Do they dump their tokens? Price will go down hardcore. They own 18%, right? If they start vesting now and they dump, that's going to be really bad for this project. If they don't dump, then good on them. Look at this. They only have 24-month vesting to begin with, so 2 years. So quite a pretty big unlock per month. Man, I'm very curious to see how that's going to go. I'm pretty bearish on that. I feel like that's too many tokens, too quickly released, with too small of a cliff, too small vesting. That's my opinion, though. I mean, maybe the team is like highly dedicated. They don't dump anything, maybe, but I would wait. Now, as for the other cliffs, look at this. Private round and seed are also still cliffing. So that is, all still about to happen. So the price is stable right now. Might take a bit of a nosedive soon, though, when everyone gets their tokens. Now, as for the IDO, it's the public round. Had 100% initial unlock. 100% TGE without any utility. That's just I don't know why they decided to go for that. Massive red flag in that sense. But yeah, I think the price is going to go down a lot. I mean, people, there's not any projects yet. So when the vesting starts, they'll just dump their tokens. I mean, maybe they are below TG price, so they will make losses. So they could also wait. But I mean, yeah, there's a pretty good chance there's going to be plenty of people that will just dump their tokens, take their loss. But we'll see. We'll have to see. I definitely wouldn't get into the price, into the token now, right? Considering that we're waiting on all of these cliffs. The cliffs end, so the price is destined to go down from here. But again, we'll see. Now, the appendix, reutilizing allocations and insurance. So they talk about the prime insurance, the prime liquid allocations, the prime delegation, and the prime stochastic diversification. Those are some big words, boys. Let's see here. Primary market Legos designed for everyone. Pool weight multiplier, distribution balance factor, participation odds, and the tail balancer. What is a tail balancer? IDO launching through Solanaprime will undergo stringment due to due diligence. Have to go to a tier 1 anchor investor. Oh, man, what the hell is that? Nah, I don't. Not a big fan of whatever that was. Now here we do have a roadmap again, like I said, but this roadmap is a bit more detailed. So we're going to go over this roadmap as well and see what we can dig up. So Q4 2021 saw the prime staking requirements in place, Launchpad MVP, IDO begins, and automated tiers. So that was very end of 2021, beginning of 2022. Then Q1, Q2, NFTized. I don't think that's a word. NFTized. Okay, allocations for IDOs, NFT allocation lending, token burns, and the exotic price discovery mechanism, whatever that means. Then Q2, Q4, that's where we are in right now. Partial DAO activation, NFTization of pre-money allocations, and insurance mechanisms. Now, what do they mean by insurance mechanisms? Is it going to get launched or not? We don't know. But yeah, that's what they say. Q4 2022 and beginning 2023, we'll see the indices for pool pre-mining allocations, indices for pooled IDO allocations, the full tokenomics vision is realized. Like, what is this? The full tokenomics and full DAO activation. So they use a lot of terminology that I feel like is almost made up, or it's at least not mainstream. So it makes a white paper quite hard to read. But okay, I guess this is a more detailed roadmap of Solanaprime. Putting venture capital back into the hands of retail. Smartphones are dominating the cyber landscape. The focus of cryptocurrencies need to be on developing mobile solutions to cater to people on the move. Yes, I agree. But what is this? I mean, is this about their mobile app or whatever? Because I did not see a mobile app on their roadmap or anything like that. Simplicity is king, utilizing asset management and venture funding. These are all just big words, but what, I don't know what this slide is for actually. And that's it. So that's the end of the white paper. So yeah, let's take a quick look at their social media, the current status. Now, these guys are working their ass off. Like they're posting like there's no tomorrow, which is pretty good. I like that. They have 27K followers on Twitter. Look at this, 22 hours ago. Post 30th of August. Good morning, time for work. So they post all the time. They post stuff like this. August is coming to an end, and IDOs are close to starting on Solanaprime Launchpad. So they're coming. They're on their way. People are excited. They're hyping their community up pretty hard, which is good. I mean, it's finally time for the IDOs. They're coming up pretty soon. That's what they say over here. And yeah, I mean, overall, just like your regular posts, you know what I mean? They also do have a Discord and a Telegram. They're quite active over there, so that's a good place to stay up to date. They do a poll over here. What sector do you think will be next on Solana? DeFi, play to earn, Metaverse, or others? Okay, cool. So yeah, that's their Twitter, looking pretty good. They also do have a Medium. I looked up tiers, but they didn't have anything on tiers. I believe if I go the arrow back, yeah, there you go. So this is Solanaprime. You just have all of their articles, Solanaprime industry use case, Aerospheres, gateway. So everything you really need to know is just right here regarding their IDOs, tutorials, whatever. So really good. They also post very active. I read some of the blogs and they're quite high quality. So yeah, their Medium is looking good. Their team, very active. So anyone who says like, oh, the developments are not doing anything, there's nothing launching, market conditions. They're new, there's market conditions. And this team is definitely working their butt off, right? Now, that doesn't automatically make it a success, but they're doing things, right? That they're developing, they're implementing new things, that they have projects in the pipeline, and they're actively on the posting on social media. So things are happening. So that's the Medium and the Twitter. And yeah, I mean, that's really everything to say about Solanaprime. This is it. And to be honest, I feel like there's a lot we still have to wait and see for, right? What is going to happen after the vesting and the lockup stopped and people start selling their tokens? What's going to happen to the price? And I feel like that is the biggest question. That is the biggest what if. If they sell their tokens, yeah, then the price is going to go down for sure. What they need to do, Solanaprime needs utility. They need to start launching these projects. They say they will do this in September. If you watch this video and it's already September, check. Did they do the launches? If they didn't do any launches, then they delayed it. That's bad, right? We need that utility right now. Token price cannot sustain itself on just deflationary mechanisms, especially when the team and the private and the seed round starts vesting. You need utility. You cannot have these people dumping the tokens. So the clock is ticking. They need to really get these projects up and running. For the rest, however, Whitepaper, quite mediocre, but I do really like their tiered system. It's a bit expensive, but low barrier of entry, I suppose, for the first tier. So what is my final judgment on this launchpad? Right now, I think Solana has so much potential that if Solanaprime just survives until the bull run, then yeah, sure, they'll go to the moon. Everyone will go to the moon. So really what we're looking at right now is, will this project survive long enough to be there in the bull run? And I think, yeah, I think this team is dedicated. Although not doxed, they seem to be dedicated. And I don't think the TG will do well, but I also understand that the developers and the team, they're probably not going to sell their tokens and run off. I hope, but I think that they'll wait for this bull run, and then the launchpad is going to do really, really well. So the best point of entry is going to be after the vesting is done, right? That people have sold their tokens, price goes down, boom, then you buy. And yeah, then you could get some big returns when the bull run hits. But again, it's all just speculation. I think the price is going to take a big ass nosedive when these people start getting their tokens. But again, speculation at best. So thank you guys so much for joining in today. I really hope you enjoyed this complete review and a little bit of speculation around the price. If you did enjoy, please make sure to like and subscribe. Turn on the notifications. I'll see you guys in the next one. As always, ciao, ciao. Take care. Have a good day.